Boom. Hey guys, what's going on? Dr. Dan here, Ozark MMJ Cards. Hump Day 420. Thank you for joining me. It's always great to talk to you guys. I get a little break from the run and cycle of seeing patients, just sort of get my stretch break. I don't really get to enjoy it, do it up quite as nicely as you guys do. So I'm a little bit jealous. Nonetheless, cheers. Hey, guys, go ahead. Take your second. It's 420. Don't let me interrupt you. Go ahead, load up whatever you're about to load up. I know that this is sacred time, so I might not be able to get your attention. I know you guys might be attending to other things right now. Totally fine. No judgment. All right, cool. Good deal. Let me take a little sip. Guys, came across this really awesome, fascinating article. And quite frankly, mind blown. Hence the title. Marijuana always brings about these really fortuitous, exciting discoveries. And I dug into this one that's pretty laden with the big time scientific jargon. Um, this 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 titled "Emerging Roles for Endocannabinoids in Long-Term Plasticity." All right, so big title. Basically saying endocannabinoids and long-term plasticity, really what they're talking about in this article is the nerve's capacity for being dynamic and being able to be adaptive and change in an ever-changing environment. You know, our environment is constantly changing, and in order for us to continue to survive, we have to be dynamic and adaptable in that process. All right. And this is a 2003 article published a very prestigious British Journal of Pharmacology. Okay, so this particular journal, it gets into a lot of the inner biochemistry and the finer workings of various things. So quite reputable. And this recent '03, recent enough time really to be considered credible. So I took a good look at this thing because what it deals with specifically is the role of cannabinoids and their function in affording nerves the ability to be able to change their chemistry in real time. Okay, this is a key word here, in real time. Be able to change their chemistry in real time and be able to, as the conditions change, there might be aberrant firing of nerves such that they're putting out neurotransmitters, all right, in amounts that are not appropriate at a certain time. I've talked about this before. Say, for example, anxiety, generalized anxiety. You're going to have a fight or flight response, an adrenaline response, what's called an adrenergic response, also known as a sympathetic response. Has nothing to do with sympathy. Okay, just we'll call it the adrenergic response. All right. So adrenaline will have this response while we're in the absence of a proper stimulus. So what marijuana does, it'll take an anxious person, change that adrenergic response to a response that's more dominant in serotonin and dopamine, right? That's just general action, what's happening in the central nervous system. Of course, it can cause different neurotransmitter releases as the environment predicts, okay? So it always will act in the direction of equilibrium, but that direction could change as the environment changes. And what marijuana does is it strengthens that's where the term long-term potentiation, which is more or less synonymous with plasticity. All right. Really, what they're saying is with that is they're keeping the membrane potential, the electrochemical gradient across the membrane of the nerve. What cannabis does when it binds, it keeps that gradient in a proper potential such that the nerve uses energy in a metabolically useful way in the pursuit of maintaining chemical equilibrium with its neurotransmitter release. All right. So I know that's a lot of verbiage to spit out at once. Really, what I want to get to is the nerve won't waste energy to try and keep itself cool. All right. At the end of the day, when nerves are misfiring, what happens with cannabinoid binding to its receptor? It just keeps these nerves from firing aberrantly and causing more metabolic heat than what is necessary. All right. It gives it the Bob Marley effect and just chills it right out. Okay. That's what's happening at the actual cellular level in the nerve. Okay. So that's when I'm talking about this article, what it does is it goes through all of this in a lot of, I don't want to say it doesn't over jargon it. It's an appropriate level of jargon for this particular journal of pharmacology. But what it did land on in a number of places in the brain, what it found was the endocannabinoid system would consistently, upon binding of the native endocannabinoid molecules, would consistently reinforce these nerve pathways over time, such that there was a higher degree of maintenance of equilibrium over time in a changing environment. Okay, that's adaptation in a nutshell, folks, on a cellular level, but being reinforced chemically through uh, through the cannabinoid binding. All right, so that's the take home that I just wanted to sum up really as simply as possible, guys, because in that vein, when there's cannabinoid binding, I just want to stick on the chemical aspect here. When we have chemical maintenance, what we're getting is the long term potential for maintaining the faithfulness of our nerves. Okay, there's a lot of studies that I think I'm going to go into over time. I like to do these things piecewise so we can build a knowledge base over time. And I like to just do things one step at a time anyway. ADD can get the best of me. And if I try and talk about too many things at once, I think it'll distract the conversation. Really, I just want to boil the gumbo and give you something delicious to eat from this. And that take home point is that what marijuana does in the long term is an adaptive thing to the cells that maintains the cell membranes and maintains the trafficking both between cells and within cells, such that it's a biochemically, energetically favorable environment. It's a good environment, not a maladaptive environment. And what the cannabinoid binding does is it promotes this and it reinforces it so that our nerves will live longer. The mitochondria, very important to the long term health of our nerves, because the mitochondria and the nucleus, they talk to each other. All right. What they do is the whole process of that is just eating up free radicals, making sure that our nucleus isn't susceptible to random electrons just bombarding it with energy and messing it up. That's how we age. It's through damage of our DNA. And cannabis helps us not succumb to DNA damage. We'll dig into that in another discussion, but I wanted you guys to just have the take home that the neuroprotective effect of marijuana is the thing that really gives it potential as a therapeutic choice. I'm not saying that it's going to necessarily repair damaged nerves, that have been transected. That's not what I'm saying. Just the regular maintenance of keeping the sheaths of nerves healthy and the actual skin of the nerves on the outside, where there's all the exchange, keeping those healthy and keep the trafficking at an even point within the nerves. That's really what this great article went into. Check it out, guys. A really good read if you have the capacity to take it in. Emerging roles for endocannabinoids in long-term plasticity, put out by the British Journal of Pharmacology, 2003. Okay, so that's really a really good eye-opening read, because you can sort of put some credence to a lot of what we preach here in the medical cannabis community. And spreading this sort of information around is really key to bringing down these barriers of stigma, guys. And I know that marijuana has had a naughty name in the past, and that's only because we haven't put out and made accessible the scientific information at the layperson level, where people can just have an idea of what's going on and the research that's been put forward. Once people have access to that, it'll bring a lot more calm and a lot more happiness to this process of using marijuana products and feeling good about what we're doing, that it's a good thing and not a bad thing. Anyway, guys, that's my time. Dr. Dan, 420 Hump Day, Wednesday. Great joining you guys. Look forward to talking to you again next week. Until then, Guys, be safe, be well, treat each other well, right? Not to get too mushy, but that's what it's all about. Marijuana is about community, and I'm just so happy to be part of it. Guys, enjoy the rest of your week. Till next time, Dr. Dan.